I've got some pizza pockets in the freezer. I've got some pizza pockets in the freezer. Hello everyone, good morning, welcome to here. It's just a paper. Okay, look, I have notes on it. We're gonna do something very exciting today. Today, we are going to start to introduce ourselves. This is my purse, just ignore it. How to sight read, which is how when you read little notes on paper like as such. Yeah, and so there are two little elements and layers to sight reading, okay? One, knowing what notes are being represented on these lines, okay? And the second part is learning to read the rhythm they are representing, okay? And so we're going to talk about the latter. Yeah, not a ladder. No ladders have nothing to do with this, but we're going to talk about the rhythm part, okay? We're going to read the rhythm of the night. Yeah, and so we're gonna go through examples, okay? Play some examples together, but first we have to cover some basics. We need to cover the values of these notes. Okay, you see them probably on the screen right here. How many beats do each of them represent? Okay, I see this funny little guy, but what do I do with him? And so here is our quarter note. And the quarter note, all right, is a very important note. Yeah, because the quarter note is our anchor. The quarter note is the click of a metronome. Let me get a metronome for you. Look. Quarter note, okay? And so quarter note lasts one beat. And since the click, is our anchor and what we use to ground our whole rhythm, okay? The quarter note is kind of a big deal. He's kind of the big boss, you know? And so it's important to think of him kind of as different from the rest of the notes, okay? He's the clickety-click guy. And so now with the quarter note context in mind, here's our next note. This is the whole note. And the whole note lasts 4 beats, meaning it spans across 4 quarter notes. So let's hear that, okay? Let's just hear that. Well, you need to hear that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's a whole note. And then we have a half note, and it lasts 2 beats, meaning it spans across 2 quarter note clicks. So let's do that. Have my little metronome right here. Okay. 1, 2. Yeah. And so these notes, the wholes and the halves, are the notes that span across quarter note clicks, okay? But there are also notes that fit in between quarter note clicks. Like this guy, for example, okay? This is the 8th note. See, he has one little hair extension. Yeah, he's got one of them. And he fits in between the quarter note click once. And so to play an 8th note, okay, we're going to play on the click. Running out of breath there. And in between the clicks. So here's what that sounds like. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... I hope you can hear any of this. And so you hear that? You hear how we were playing on the clicks and in between the clicks, okay? That's an 8th note. And so that and represents the 8th note. And so when I say fit a beat in between the click, that is technically not correct, okay? Because the beat is the clicks, all right? So when we fit a note in between the beats, that's actually technically called a subdivision. It's a subdivision of the beat, okay? We're getting more sound out of the beat, okay? And our last note, okay, the 16th note, much like our 8th note, also fits in between the beats, right? In between the clicks. And it fits in between 3 times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? And so you see how we said and 3 times? Well, those 3 ands represent the 16th note, okay? Yeah. And so again, we're taking that constant quarter note click and then fitting in extra subdivisions of the beats in between it. And so, okay, great. Now that we have our notes and their values covered, let's see how they actually work in tandem, okay? In the actual rhythmic example, all right? And so I'll show you 3 examples, and they're gonna get progressively harder as we go along. Yeah, so let's start with the first one. And so here it is, here's our first example, okay? And there's one little note being played throughout the whole thing, and that is the A note, okay? And it doesn't matter why it's the A note, we're not talking about that right now. But you can really play any note that you'd like, whatever, it doesn't really matter. And so the other thing we need to cover about this little guy, okay, is that the time signature is 4/4, which means there is going to be 4 beats total per measure. And so there's a teeny little bit of math involved here, just that much, okay? And we're gonna talk about that later, okay? And so we're gonna take this measure by measure, note for note. So our first note here, right here, is the quarter note, right? It lasts 1 click. Our second note is another quarter note, again lasts 1 click. And our third note here is the half note, and that spans across 2 clicks, okay? Great. Our next measure, we have a half note, which spans again across 2 clicks. And another half note, and that spans again across 2 clicks, totally. And then in our third measure, we have the whole note, right? And the whole note spans across 4 clicks. And then in our last measure, we have a quarter note, another quarter note, another quarter note, and another quarter note. So each note in this measure is going to be played on the click, click, Okay, so now let's take this entire 4 measures here and play them together. Okay, let's do it. Ready? I'll count us in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Totally. Who's gonna help me file my claim? Who's gonna help me file my claim? Okay, so now here, back to the little math part that I mentioned earlier, okay? Notice how each measure here added up to 4 beats, okay? Yeah, so in a 4/4 time signature, right, whenever you add up the note values of each of these beats, right, they're going to equal 4. That's all. And so here's our next example, okay? In our first measure, we have a quarter note, so that's gonna last 1 beat, right? Then we have these 2 notes connected by a 1-line bridge, okay? What the heck is that? Well, that is the 8th note, right? So the first little note there, okay, right there, represents the quarter note, so that's where you're gonna play on the click, and the note it's connected to with its little bridgey guy is the 8th note. Yeah, so that's where you say and. One and. One. Yeah, and so let's play those two little note guys first so we can see what that sounds like, okay? Okay, 1, 2, and, okay? And then we have a half note, right, which spans across 2 quarter note clicks. And then in our next measure, we again have those 8th notes, right? So that quarter note will be the click, and then the bridge connection note is the and, like we just did before, you know? And then we have 2 quarter notes. Yeah, so they are both played on the click. Those are simple enough. And then in our next measure, we have a whole note. It just spans across 4 little clicky clicks, okay? And then in our next measure, we have notes with 2 little bridgey guys, 2-line bridge guys. What in the heck is that? Well, those are the 16th notes, right? And so with our first little grouping here, that first note represents again the quarter note, okay? The click, 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 click. And then the 3 little connectors represent the ands. So the 3 ands, remember we talked about? So that's gonna be 1 and. 1 and. Or here, 1 and. 1 and. 1 and. Yeah, okay? And then our next little group is the same thing. Okay, you just have to repeat it twice. And then our last note there is a whole note, which again spans across 2 quarter note clicks. Oh, and by the way, when I do the and, we're doing alternate pickings, okay? So 1 and, 2 and. Hope this one note is not getting annoying to your earlobes. Now. And so great, okay, let's take all these 4 measures, play them together, back to back. Let's do it, I'll count us in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Yeah. Diamonds are a squirrel's best friend. Diamonds are a squirrel's best friend. Okay, great. This is good. You're doing great. Well, I can't really hear you, but I think you are. Yeah, I believe in you. And so now I want you to notice something, okay? When we're counting, we are only counting the numbers on the click. Okay? We're never gonna say and on a click because the ands, right, represent the notes that fit in between the clicks. Did you catch that? Yeah. Okay, and here's the third one. Here's the third example. And this one I'm cheating a little, because there's only 2 measures. Because this one's a special one, okay? We're introducing a new little symbol. And so it might be a little, it might be a little difficult. So we're gonna do 2 measures. And so here, okay, allow me please to present to you with our 2 new little symbols, okay? Do you see them? This little guy that looks like a, it looks like if you took the and symbol and kind of untwisted it. Yeah. And then we have this little hat guy. He's just a little guy. And so what are these guys? Well, these are rests, okay? And so the little undone and sign is the quarter rest. And the little line guy, the little that is the half rest. And they have the same values as the quarter note and half note, but instead of playing those values, you don't play them. Yeah. So the quarter rest, you would rest in just don't do anything for 1 beat, and the half rest, you would just don't do anything for 2 beats, okay? And so in our first measure here, we have a quarter rest, right? Then we have a quarter note, and then we have 16th notes, those 3 of them, right? You see them? And then we have another quarter rest, okay? So let's play that I'll play it, we'll play it, and we'll see what it sounds like. So we'll have to count this in, okay? We're only doing one measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. You hear that? So when those beats come along, okay, we just don't play them. Yeah. And so in our second measure here, we start again with a quarter rest, okay? Then we have a quarter note, so we're gonna play on the beat, and then we have the rest for 2 more beats. Yeah, so let's hear what that measure sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Okay. All right, so here's what we're gonna do now. So now let's play both those measures back to back together twice in a row. Okay, let's do it. We'll count us in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Oh dear, there's a little bird glider outside my window. Look at him gliding around. Going to terrorize someone's barbecue, I'm sure. And now for a little bit of Funsgiving, okay? Let's take all the measures we played today and play them back to back once together. Okay, let's do it. I'll count us in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Woo! Good job, my God, we're so rock and roll. We're too rock and roll for our own goods, not for nothing. And so that's it, okay, everyone? That's it. That's how you read rhythms. Okay? Put stones in your bathtub. They're great for circulation. They're great for getting calluses out of your foot. Yeah? Don't forget, go over to meganchurchmusic.com and sign our petition to send pigeons to space. Yeah! Start protesting against attacks on silly string. And we won't stand for it any longer. And while you're there, check out the 70s and Guitar eBooks. We got 2 of them. We got the 70s and Guitar Study eBook. That is a guitar study ebook. Okay, it's a chord scale and theory reference book all organized in the Cage system. It's got a bunch of theory concepts, all in visual examples, so it's gonna be easy to study from and understand and conceptualize. Then we got the 70s and Beginner Guitar Guide. That is a guitar guide. It's gonna help you on your beginner journey. Everything you need to learn at the beginning of playing guitar is in it. And it's got a practice guide to implement all of the things. And if you want a course, we got one of those. The Key to Music Theory World Tour course. Woo! We go through the fundamentals of music, all right? What keys are, how we build major scales, how we build chords from those scales, and how everything is organized into keys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to do it. At 5,000 subscribers, I'm gonna solve Rubik's Cube on camera for the world to see, and we're almost there. Yeah, we're almost there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all that you do. Don't forget something that I'm gonna tell you right now, okay? If ever you're out in the world, right? And you see yourself a little pasta colander. You know, the ones that you put in with the holes in it. You drain the water out of your fusilli pasta. Pick it up. Bring it to your local YMCA. Put it in the locker. 3rd one from the left. I seem to have lost my colander, so I'd like it if you returned it to me. Thanks. I also go to the YMCA every Tuesday. Yeah, they have water aerobics, and I don't participate in it, but they will oftentimes have celebratory enchilada parties after their aerobics. And sometimes they don't eat all the enchiladas. No, they leave them there. That's where I come in. Let me tell you a little story about a little turkey. He had 4 fingers and no hope. He walked into a Costco one day. He took a carriage. He bought himself some chicken nuggets and went home. It was a chicken nugget eating turkey. He was a poultry eating poultry. What? Hello? I'm in the middle of something. Chicken nugget turkeys. His chicken chicken nugget turkeys.
Okay, I'm gonna go now. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna head out. Yeah, I'll see you soon, okay? Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching you. Thanks for having me here. Appreciate it. Talk soon, okay? Just.